This episode is sponsored by dailygiving.org. Great organization gives out money on your behalf, $1 a day. They give out tens of thousands of dollars a week to 40 amazing organizations. You can be part of it. Your dollar matters. dailygiving.org, dailygiving.org. We're entering into a new world. We're opening up a new book. We're in the book of Bamidbar, of Numbers. It's a powerful book that overviews the entire desert experience now. And it always struck me that the first chapter, this Torah portion, is basically one major theme, which is census, counting, numbers. In fact, the English way of seeing Bamidbar is called Numbers, because whoever wrote the English thing was like, holy cow, this is all about numbers. God commands Moses to basically count everybody by tribe, not just one large count. It's not a national count. It's a tribal count. Not only count them, but like, where are they encamped? Where is everybody? Like, he wants to know where everybody and everything is. The question is why? God knows. He's God. He doesn't need a head count at the end of like Great Adventure. So we make sure that all the kids are on the bus back to camp. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's God. He knows how many people we got. He knows where everybody is. So Moses has got to go through a whole thing and have people come in and count. Moses is like, okay, God, by the way, 15,000. No, it's 15,602. Like, God's like, no, is it? Because I don't know. Is it working out here? God's like, I know how many people we are. God knows how many we got. Why is he making us go through an entire Torah portion? Forget that they did it, but we got to now spend time talking about it forever. How many people they had then? I heard this story years ago. I want to share with you. I heard this so long ago, but I love it. In the 19th century, early 20th century, there was a very famous conductor named Toscanini. Arturo Toscanini. He was maybe one of the most accomplished musicians of his time. He was a total and complete legend. Time Man of the Year. They made a stamp of him. He was worldly acclaimed. At the end of his life, when he retired, a biographer followed him around to write his biography. And one day they were talking, and Toscanini said, "Listen, I can't meet you tomorrow night." And he said, "How come?" He said, "Because there's a symphony playing, and the conductor is the one who took over from me, and I have to listen to it. Oh, I got to see how it's going." Like he cared so much about the music. He was the world famous conductor that he wanted to hear how the next in line would do it. And he goes, "I have to listen to it on the radio, and I can't be bothered. I can't talk, but I have to be concentrating." So the biographer says, "Can I listen with you?" He goes, "Nah." He goes, "Please." He goes, "Okay, on one condition. You can't say a word the whole time. You have to listen in silence." I said, "Okay." So the biographer comes, and he sits with him. Toscanini sits back in his chair, and he puts on the radio, and the symphony begins. And the biographer says it was the most beautiful thing he's ever heard in his entire life. It was magnificent. The way all the pieces, he never really heard music like this before. He's a biographer. And he was blown away. And the symphony finally ended, and he turned to Toscanini and said, "Wow." And he sees Toscanini's head down, and he goes, "That was terrible." He goes, "Terrible?" He goes, "That was amazing." He goes, "I can't believe it." He goes, what did you hear that I didn't hear?" Toscanini said, "This is a 120-piece band. There's supposed to be 15 violins, and there were only 14. Threw the whole song off. The whole symphony was thrown." Goes, "What'd you say?" Goes, "Yeah, there should have been 15 violinists. There's only 14. He goes, "You heard that?" He goes, "All right." And the biographer's like, "He's playing me." It's good when the biographer's sitting in the room, it's good to throw these stories in so you could write it in. He's like, "I'm not doing that." So the biographer got in touch with the symphony and said, "Can I ask you a question?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yesterday was so beautiful." He goes, "Right." He goes, "I'm doing a study or a story." He goes, "Was everybody there last night?" And the person that he contacted with said, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "You sure?" He goes, "Let me check." And he came back and goes, "Actually, no. Last night, one of our violinists called in sick. We're supposed to have 15. There's only 14 violinists." Why in the world do we spend a whole Torah portion counting? Why does God want us to count so badly? Because when you're the guy in the stands, it sounds amazing. 15, 14, 12, 10. But when you're the conductor, every single violinist is important. And it's a different sound when there's 15 and when there's 14. One of the greatest blocks to our spiritual growth is that we don't believe that God believes in us. We don't really believe that we are needed. We live in a celebrity-based world. And so we think that spirituality in Judaism is celebrity-based. The people in the front are important. But the rest of us are fungible. So what I don't pray? So what I don't study? So what I'm not interested? So what I don't fully believe? I'm not doing anything wrong. Does it really matter if I'm not in? Does it really matter if I'm not feeling? Does it matter? And we look around and go, wait, in that world, it's celebrity-based. And in that world, it's celebrity-based. And in that world, it's celebrity. It must be in this world, too, it's celebrity-based. And as long as the big holy people are in, God's happy. God doesn't even know my name. And God goes, yeah, it's because you're in the audience. That's why you think that. I'm the conductor. If there's only 14 violinists, the whole symphony's off. Before we begin the journey, this Torah portion is the beginning of the journey. We're beginning the journey of the Jewish people. It starts off in the desert, but it's the beginning. God goes, before you begin your journey, remember something. You take account. Not because I need it, because you need it. I need you to know that I care if there's 601 or 600. I care where you're placed and where you're camped and how many of you. You know why? Because I need every single one of you. Every single one needs to be in the symphony for the music to work. Let's take a minute, if we can. Take a minute today, if you can, just for a second. Look around at this major world. Just look up at the sky, and the stars and the sun and the grass, and think to yourself, the creator of all humanity needs me, wants me, knows if I'm sitting in my chair and playing my instrument, whatever that instrument is, and do it until you feel a sense of pride, until you feel a sense of accomplishment just for your existence. That's the portion. That's how you prepare for the holiday coming up of Shavuot. Maybe if we all felt how important we were in God's eyes, we'd feel it in our own eyes. We'd become the people that we're meant to be. Shabbat Shalom.